Hello there, guys. I am DeMusliM from Team Evil Geniuses, and I am here brought to you by Razer. Razer Academy, I'm going to be teaching you build order in TVT. This build order consists of a Reaper opening in TVT, which switches over into Hellions and drops and all that good stuff.
Hello there, this is EG DeMusliM, spawning as the Red Terran in the southwest of Cloud Kingdom. One of the most popular maps in both Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. It's been around for quite a while. It's quite a balanced map. Here we have our opponent, the Barcode Terran. Don't know who it is, but it's most likely a Korean. Either way, this replay will be about the 1 Rex Reaper Fast Expand and what we do with it. We'll fast forward through the first few sections of the replay, just because it will be the same old, same old. One thing to note is, I have stacked my SCVs on the closest 2 mineral patches, meaning we'll try and earn as many minerals as fast as possible. You may ask, why does a player do this? Or how does it work exactly? Well, if you think of the travel distance from this SCV to this SCV, that's technically how far you have to go. Compared to this SCV to this mineral patch, the distance is significantly longer. If we just measure these 2 SCVs right here, right now, there, I'll do that a bit slower, but here, he's picking up his minerals, he's picking up his minerals now. The travel distance will be much, much greater for this SCV, and this guy can end up doing roughly 5 trips in the space that this guy does 4. So it is significant. Don't worry if you do not do that, but if you get to the point where you feel your hands could be doing something extra at the start of the game, that's something you definitely want to approach doing. Here, just making sure our SCVs are going well, stacking on these closest positions, the rest of them, the SCVs are going completely fine. Now, with our 14th SCV that pops out, we will start making a guess. We do it at 14 rather than 13 for a very simple reason. If you do it at 13, your initial Marine, or you're stuck in this limbo kind of phase where you can wait for your Reaper, as in once your barracks completes you'll have roughly 30 gas, and then you wait for your Reaper to build for about 10 to 15 seconds. Whereas with this build, you can get out an initial Marine, then a Reaper straight afterwards. There's no limbo, there's no waiting around, everything's efficient. So the Marine pops out now. As you can see, we're on about 16 gas, which means by the time this Marine is completed, we can get the Reaper out. That is the way that my build goes. We will scout reasonably late this game. We could have done this a little bit faster, but anyhow, it does happen. So we get the second depot down as that guy's scouting, and then look, as soon as the Marine was done, we can get the Reaper out. This build is efficient in that respect that your buildings are utilized as much as they possibly can be, but also it's just a nice build for minerals. His gas was a little earlier than ours, meaning that we do have more minerals to spend. He's also going for a different build to us with the second gas. Myself with this build, we will just be going for a command center. This is an expansion build, a safe expansion build. You have a single Marine out on the field, you're also going to be having a Reaper out on the field. So as this Reaper completes, we do get our command center. Along with this barracks, we will be getting a reactor ASAP. As you can see, we only have just enough minerals to spend for both the SCV and the reactor, but that's what we make do with. We're hitting 100 gas along with 150 minerals, and we will be making a factory over here pretty soon. His Reaper does take control of the map, a bit better than mine. I went for a different path just to make sure that nothing comes from this entrance and this entrance, but still, losing that Marine doesn't really mean that much. As for factory's timing, his is 40 seconds quicker than mine, but he has no expo on the way, which is pretty significant at this stage of the game. Here we have a bit of a Reaper Mortal Kombat going down. Neither one really can win from that situation, so whoever does get the first hit, the other will end up running away. That's totally standard. Within my base, Command Center is going down. He's getting a starport with a Banshee over here, nothing to worry about. This build, it allows us to get out a lot of Marines very, very quickly. The factory going up, we will get a starport directly after, and as you can see, this SCV is rally pointed over here to build a starport. Hellions will pop out, orbital commands will pop out. As you can see, 150 minerals as soon as that's done, practically, meaning it will be an orbital command within no time. We have little skirmishers out on the map, his Reaper with 1 kill, mine with 0. Orbital command on the way, and look, we have enough to defend this little push of his quite easily with 4 Marines and a Reaper. So already I feel safe. I feel safe to air units, I feel safe to ground units, even got Hellions on the way, more Marines on the way. The magic number of Marines in this matchup, or at least with this build, is 8. With 8, you can do a lot of things. But it's also the amount that you need to fill a medevac entirely, so you might as well make the most of that. As you can see, our medevac will start very, very shortly. We're going to fly over our natural base, so we're taking our expo much earlier than him. His expo is still on the way, making more depots because we don't want to get supply blocked. And as soon as those last 2 Marines for this 8 do complete, we do switch the factory over and start producing Hellions. At this stage of the game, we can afford our second gas. Got our expo up. What's in his base? We do have a Banshee on the way. We have an expo on the way. I just want to talk about this very momentarily. I did scout him, or scan him rather, around the 6-minute 20, 6-minute 30 mark. And what I saw was this barracks, this factory with this add-on. I also saw 2 gases, both with a significant number of gas mined out of them. And I saw this starport. So where's this gas actually being put to use? There was literally 600 gas or so mined from these geysers. Well, given that we only saw this with our scan, we can pretty much assume that this has a tech lab with Cloak being researched on it. Now that is significant for this stage of the game. We do have an engineering bay going down somewhere too, or at least beginning production for him. Soon I'll start making one too. So we're both kind of worried about Cloak at this stage of the game. So the reactor is down, start producing Hellions. He's got a decent number of Marines and making a bunker at the front. I myself, we do fill up this medevac. I'll pause the game quickly and talk about what's being produced. We have Hellions on the way, we have a Viking on the way, we also have an engineering bay on the way. This is because of what we scouted before. And a big part of Starcraft is making use of what little information you have. Think of it like a math problem. If you have 2 plus question mark plus 2 and it equals 7, you have to assume, well, you're given those question marks and you have to fill them in. It's very, very simple once you can look at it like that. But obviously things can be very, very mismatched where it's question mark, question mark, question mark. And if that is the case, you're not giving yourself enough information. You're playing in the dark, whereas I got given X, Y, and I just presumed he was going with Z, which was the correct presumption. So here, we're on our way to his base. We do see this Hellion, and we are on the way with 4 Hellions, 8 Marines, and a Reaper. He has this Banshee on his way to my base. We will have our engineering bay done soon, along with the starport and a Viking. We get to his base in the nick of time. This bunker is just completed, but his units are not in position. As you can see, he is producing factories and such, and we do have a Banshee in our base. Fortunately, we do start producing this turret in pretty decent time for this Banshee only to get 2 kills thus far. A turret also being made here. We have held off this harass pretty decently. This attack, 8 Marines, 4 Hellions, and a Reaper. It is dealing with him, as you can see. He does not have the army to deal with our push as efficiently as he wants to at all. So we are bunched outside his base. We have a much better army than he does. Within regards to supply, we have 20 to 13, and half of his is in production. Resources lost. We're definitely winning on that front. And this, my friends, is the Reaper fast expand into a Marine medevac Hellion push that hits incredibly hard. We defended very well. We have a higher harvest account, and then we can transition into anything we do so please. In this case, we are going bio, still doing damage to his base, 38 harvesters to 21. This was mission success.
So after seeing that build, that is one that I temporarily use, or right now I currently use in the ladder. I'm doing really well. I'm top 20, I believe, on Grandmaster, and a lot of Terrans are also using that build. It's one that you should definitely check out, and I hope you enjoyed it. This was brought to you by Razer Academy. Stay tuned until next time.